Sean. Sorry, go ahead.
I think this is where. Hold on, can I just get some agreement on this? Can we all agree, and Dan, because I don't think any of us disagree with the threat that Iran poses and the idea that they should not have a nuclear weapon, they should not have nuclear enrichment capabilities. But the bigger question that I still can't get my head around, and I know that there is competing arguments in the White House, is then what? What do we own when this is done? And do we find ourselves in a situation, because it's not like you drop the bomb and then go, all right, we'll see you guys in a bit. There's going to be
why not?
There's a
why not?
Well, because you can't walk away. Because if the Ayatollah stays in command, he will retaliate, and
Israel will kill him.
Activate sleeper cells.
Israel's going to kill him.
But Mark, I think something that has to be put on the table, and this is not Dan Turrentine's personal opinion or the Democratic Party's opinion, but reading politics and reading polls and having dealt with this stuff now for years, there are a lot of Americans who say Iran is not a direct threat to the United States. Iran is a direct threat to Israel, and Israel is our friend. But you got to be careful saying that there's a huge threat to the United States.
There is. They're developing intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Okay, but they're not there yet to reach us.
Right, but this is the time to stop them before they're there to reach us.
But you know what, though, Mark? Again, and this is not my personal view, but there are tens of millions who feel like it's just like with the Ukraine war, not a direct threat to us, right? It could become one, but it's not. And so when you say, well, Israel will take out the government, Israel will do this, who supplies Israel with most of their stuff?
United States. That's why the Ayatollah, if he's serious that the U.S. shouldn't get involved, he should be attacking U.S. military bases now, because we're heavily involved already.
There's two other things that we're not mentioning. One is thing Russia and one is thing China. And the issue is that maintaining that balance between not provoking them to come to Iran's defense right now, because this is, again, the balance that has to exist, and no one knows those X factors. You see Chairman Xi talking about we need to take the temperature. I mean, like, I don't know what back channels they're doing with him, but we've got to make sure that we don't. These things have a way of escalating. I am a believer. I'm with you, Mark, on the idea that, to me, Iran poses an existential threat, whether it's today, tomorrow, or next week. It doesn't matter. If you have the opportunity, you take them out. Take the shot. Go. But we need to be very, very aware of what happens next. And that, I think, is what the president is faced with right now. And there's competing views on how to make that. I'll
also just say this. Trump likes to be on the side of victory. He loves to be with the hot thing, right? So now he's claiming we own the air and like all this stuff that is just factually not true, right? Because he likes to project strength and victory. I'm sure what is making him nervous is, if this goes sideways, I own the whole thing. I cannot blame anybody else. No one dragged. I mean, he can go after Netanyahu, but like, good luck with that.
We know very little about who's taking what positions internally. But we do know that the White House is telling everybody who will listen. Some of it came from the Europeans and the Israelis, but the administration officials are telling everybody the president is considering this. I call it the mother of all trial balloons. The reaction, I think, has been, if you're trying to see what the traffic will bear, I think the reaction's been pretty good, with the exception of the Ayatollah and a few members of Congress. I don't hear a huge outcry around.
I mean, there's been one poll that shows 85% of Americans against this.
It depends on how you ask it. I find the polls on this to be silly.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.